Kyrie Irving pretty clearly had his best playoff run in 2016, where his scoring and overall offensive punch paired perfectly with LeBron James as the orchestrator of the offense. And jumping forward to today in 2024, I think Irving right now has a very similar role in Dallas, with the majority of the offense being run through Luka Doncic and Kyrie filling in the cracks by simply getting buckets. Now, despite all the ridiculous highlights Irving racks up game after game, I actually think Irving this year has been doing his best work from the perimeter. Over the past 10 games, Kyrie is shooting over 43% from 3, with a big chunk of volume as well. This year, over half of Irving's 3-point looks have come off the catch, and many of these looks simply find him in the flow of the game. The scoring gravity of Luka Doncic is enough by itself to give Irving plenty of catch-and-shoot threes each game. You'll see Luka here start this play posting up. And notice how Cam Thomas is going to roam off of Kyrie to double the ball, which leads to this in-rhythm catch-and-shoot 3. When playing off the catch, I also think Irving is really good at keeping the game simple. If the defense gives him space, Kyrie is going to waste no movement and rise up into his shot. Right here, you'll see him catch the ball just above the corner. And notice how Kyrie is going to drop down into this low stance to push the defense back. And when he feels that he has space to rise up, Irving is going to bring his right foot back to find his space into his shot. I also like this shot here, where Irving pushes the defense's top foot back by hitting this light jab step. And once he feels that he has space, Kyrie is going to immediately rise up. And the same thing also applies to Irving shooting off the dribble. Whenever he feels that he has space on the perimeter, Kyrie's number one option is to always look to pull the trigger. On this play, Kyrie's pushing the pace in transition, and notice how the defense has both feet well below the 3, allowing Kyrie to settle his feet and rise up.
Irving tries a three-pointer, comes back down the other way.
And then on top of Kyrie's shot making, he also gets a good amount of lift into his jumper, which allows him to rise up and over contest. You'll see him again here pushing the pace in transition, but now he's being defended by the bigger and more lengthy Jalen Johnson. But as Kyrie gets into his shot, notice how much he pops off the floor and elevates over his contest. Now on this play, we have Kyrie working off the screen, and notice how Fred VanVleet is going to fight through and stay attached to Kyrie's hip. But watch how Irving is going to stop left-right and lift over him for this jumper. Now, if the defense tries to step up and get in Irving's airspace, he obviously has a variety of ways to create separation. This change of pace step back has always been one of Irving's go-to moves, where he plays upright and casual with the ball, then punches off his inside foot to separate back for his jumper. Another one of Irving's go-to moves this year has been this right-hand hezzy pull-up, where he brings the ball to his outside pocket, then aggressively steps right-left to flow into his shot. And Irving is also really good at using his eyes and shoulders to sell that right-hand blow-by. Notice here how he again brings the ball up and steps right-left, and he pushes this defender back well below the 3. Now, Irving's ability to spread the floor and knock down shots both off the dribble and catch is going to be vital for his postseason success. When looking at all the guards over the past decade who've had real playoff success, pretty much all of them are snipers. Players like Jamal Murray, Steph Curry, and even Kyrie himself are guys that come to mind. As the game gets more physical in the playoffs, outside shooting is one of, if not the most important thing for guards to have, and Irving's definitely got that.
Just rave about the experience with Irving.
Now, Irving's ability to spread the floor and knock down perimeter shots forces the defense to step up and meet him out beyond the 3, which then opens up the rest of Kyrie's scoring. Irving this year has been a pretty efficient and high volume mid-range scorer, and again, many of these shots find him from the defense trying to run Kyrie off the line. You'll see the defense on this play trying to scramble up and fight over this ball screen, which allows Irving to simply rip back across towards the baseline and get this one dribble pull-up. You can see the exact same thing on this play, where again this defender is trying to chase Irving over the screen, which leads to another rip through and pull-up. Now, when Irving does commit to using these ball screens, he has great pace and navigation with the ball, being able to quickly read the floor and find the open spots to attack into. Notice how his shooting threat again forces his man to fight over the pick, which gives Irving all this open space to go out the drop big. And watch how Irving is going to attack the big's top foot by simply pushing the ball to his right hand and driving across the middle. And once he gets this big to open up his stance, Irving's going to pop up into a left-right pull-up. And similar to his three-point shooting, many of Irving's reads out of pick and roll are very straightforward and simple. Notice here how the Nets have a slight defensive breakdown, with the on-ball defender icing the screen and forcing Irving towards the baseline. But this big is also hovering towards the middle, which gives Kyrie all this open space to his right to attack into. Another big factor to Irving's mid-range scoring is going to be his physicality. Kyrie loves to seek out contact on the perimeter, where he can use his low center of gravity to bump and create space for his jumpers. Dallas on this play is going to clear out the entire left side of the floor for Irving, and Kyrie from this spot isn't going to do anything super advanced off the dribble. He's just going to transition into a post up and work his man across the middle, to then turn back over his right shoulder for the jumper. And that physicality also allows Kyrie to use these sharp and aggressive attacking angles, where he gets the defense to open up their stance by simply driving right through their frame. You'll see Irving on this play get his man to open up by just swiping with his off arm and driving right through his frame. And once this defender's hips are opened up, Irving's going to stop on a dime for this pull-up. I love this move here, where the defense is heavily playing on Irving's right side, trying to force him middle towards the help. But Irving's going to sink his weight down and spin over this defender's top foot, to then again get low and attack the defense's body, to then pop up and sink this tough shot. When attacking to his spots, Kyrie also has really good deceleration off the dribble, being able to aggressively attack angles and get the defense to open up, to then slam the brakes and create space for his pull-up. Watch him here put the ball down and attack to his right. And once he gets this defender's hips squared up with the baseline, Irving's going to sink his weight down into his right foot and snatch the ball back with his crossover. And then all these skills carry right over to Kyrie's deep paint scoring. Irving is obviously one of the most dynamic and creative finishers across the league. But when looking at how Irving actually initiates these drives, it all comes back to his outside shooting. Irving is elite at leveraging his pull-up threat to pull the defense out of their stance and create these downhill drives. Notice here how the drop big is forced to step up and at least acknowledge Irving's three-point shooting, but that in return gives Irving the easy blow-by. And Kyrie also has the same effect in the mid-range. All he has to do is slow down and put his eyes on the rim to lift the defense out of their stance. When playing downhill, Kyrie's strength also plays a big factor, constantly initiating contact on the perimeter to carve out driving lines. Watch him here completely move Jordan Poole off his driving line, to then pick up through this gap and rise up for a high floater. On this play, he now has a defender staying attached to his hip, but as Irving gets to the block, notice how he pushes this defender back across the paint, creating a window for this finish. When finishing in traffic, Irving also loves getting to these 2-foot layups, which he can use to both adjust his lift path to the rim, as well as absorb contact in the paint.
Irving blasts baseline and finishes.
You'll see Irving here get this blow-by off the catch, and as this big rotates over to close off the rim, Irving's going to again lift off 2 feet and jump right into his body, which allows him to keep his finishing angle on the right side of the rim. Now on this play, Kyrie's going to beat the first line of defense with this between cross, and as the help side slides over, Irving's not going to avoid contact by trying to euro around. Instead, he's going to lift up and attack this defender's body to then muscle up this finish. And Irving also has the same balance and stability when finishing off a 1 foot. This move and shot here is tough, where Kyrie is going to first attack this defender's top foot with a crossover. Then he takes one dribble and picks up off his right foot, and he extends the ball over the help side. Then he's going to decelerate off his next step to rise up for a vertical finish while the defense is stumbling forward. So I think Kyrie Irving right now has the talent, skill, and experience to do some real damage in this year's postseason. I think Dallas has a really good team built around both him and Luka Doncic, and over the past 2 months they've looked like one of the best teams across the NBA. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think we're going to see from Kyrie in this year's playoffs. The Kid's here.